Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into a fascinating mix of finance, trade, and global systems with a dash of history and economics.
And some cutting edge tech.
Yeah, a little bit of tech thrown in there too, just for good measure.
It's all connected, in ways that you might not expect.
Oh, I love those hidden links.
Yeah, we'll be uncovering some of those today.
Okay, cool.
Mm.
And speaking of unexpected connections, did you know that freedom isn't just like one simple idea? It's got personal, political, economic, and even social dimensions. Like, no wonder it's a topic that sparks so much debate.
Yeah, no kidding.
Right.
By the end of this deep dive, you'll have a good understanding of how these systems actually work, but more importantly, how they impact your life every day.
Okay, so let's unpack this, starting with those many faces of freedom. It's more than just, doing whatever you want. Our sources define it in some really interesting ways, from personal choices and political rights to economic opportunity.
Social acceptance, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. And that poem excerpt we have really captures all those different facets of freedom. It talks about freedom as a noble aspiration, but also a price that's been paid and even scorned by some. Like, there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah, definitely not a simple concept.
No.
Which brings us to kind of another complex topic, prohibition. It's not just like a historical footnote. It actually reveals a lot about how markets adapt, which I think is really relevant even today, right? Take alcohol and cannabis, for instance.
Both went through periods of prohibition, and that shaped not just their markets, but also social perceptions and even future job opportunities. You know what I mean? It's a classic example of unintended consequences playing out over time.
It makes you wonder, like, what unforeseen impacts today's policies might have decades down the line, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so now shifting gears to something with some pretty major global implications, nuclear energy. It's often presented as this double-edged sword, and for good reason, I think.
Exactly. It has huge potential for energy security and sustainability, especially as we're trying to transition away from fossil fuels. But the risks, the ethical considerations are enormous. You can't just ignore those.
No, you definitely can't. And that kind of ties into this idea of peace economics, which may sound kind of like a contradiction, but the idea is that economic stability can actually reduce conflict, which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about it.
Yeah, it's a compelling idea. When people have economic opportunities and feel secure, they're less likely to resort to violence. This makes a strong case for investing in global development.
It makes a lot of sense when you think about it that way. Now let's dive into the world of stock markets by comparing the NASDAQ and the TSX.
Okay.
You can learn a lot about a country's economy just by looking at their stock exchange.
You really can.
Right.
Yeah, it's like looking at their economic DNA. The NASDAQ, being so tech-heavy, reflects the U.S.'s dominance in innovation and technology.
While the TSX, with its focus on natural resources, shows how vital those industries are to the Canadian economy.
Exactly. And their performance over time, their volatility, even the types of companies listed, all tell a story about each market's unique character.
I love that. Like, a market has a personality. That's cool. Now, for those of you who are interested in the bigger picture of investment, it's not just stocks and bonds. There's this whole universe of options out there.
Oh, yeah. Real estate, crypto, NFTs.
Yeah.
It's a zoo out there.
It really is, right? It's a lot. And diversification is key, right? You don't want to put all your eggs in one basket.
Absolutely not.
And understanding the fundamentals of each investment type is crucial for managing risk.
Yeah. Bonds can offer that kind of stability.
Yep.
Real estate gives you tangible assets. And while crypto and NFTs those are riskier, they have the potential for those, high growth returns that everybody's always chasing. It's really all about finding the right mix for your personal goals and risk tolerance.
Okay. And to make this, a little more concrete, some familiar examples. In stocks, you have the giants like, Apple and Microsoft. While in the world of bonds, there are U.S. Treasury bonds and UK gilts, which are considered very stable.
Those are great examples.
Okay, cool. Now let's tackle a topic that might make some eyes glaze over, but is actually really relevant: the history of tax systems. Don't worry, we're not going to bore you with all the nitty-gritty detail.
We'll hit the highlights.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll see how systems in Canada and the USA evolved after major events like, Confederation in Canada and the American Revolution.
Right.
And things like the Great Depression, globalization.
Huge impact.
All had a massive impact.
Yeah. And here's a fun fact. Did you know that the Canadian SIN and the US SSN, they look almost identical,
Yeah.
but they have slightly different uses?
It's the little things.
The details. That's what makes these topics fun, right?
It shows that even something like taxation can have hidden complexities and a fascinating history behind it.
Totally. Okay, hold on tight, because we're about to jump into the world of AI. This is where it gets exciting.
And maybe a little scary too, right?
Maybe a little scary. Yeah, a little bit. AI is everywhere, from finance to healthcare, and it's developing at like warp speed.
In finance, AI is being used for everything. Algorithmic trading, risk management, fraud detection, even customer service.
Wow.
And then in healthcare, it's playing a growing role in personalized medicine, diagnostics, even assistive technology.
Like, it's amazing to think that AI is now being used to create things like smart canes for seniors to help them navigate the world more safely, which is,
That's pretty cool.
yeah, really amazing. But all this rapid progress, I mean, it does raise some ethical concerns,
Sure, of course.
right? I mean, that we need to address.
How do we ensure AI is developed and used responsibly? Especially with concerns about things like, algorithmic bias where flawed data leads to unfair outcomes and the potential impact of AGI, artificial general intelligence, that idea of AI becoming, super intelligent. These are conversations we need to be having right now.
Yeah, it is fascinating and terrifying, the idea of AGI. It's a lot to wrap our heads around.
It is.
Okay, speaking of things that affect our minds and bodies, let's explore this concept of brain-body economics. It's the idea that the ups and downs of the economy actually have a real impact on our mental and physical well-being.
No, it's not just numbers on a spreadsheet.
Yeah, exactly. It's about real people's health and happiness, right?
It is. Take the recent pandemic, for instance. We saw massive economic shocks happen at the same time that stress and anxiety, health issues were on the rise. It forced people into really difficult situations, job losses, food insecurity, problems accessing healthcare. All of these can directly affect both our mental and physical health.
Yeah, that's a really powerful example of how interconnected everything is. Okay, let's explore a topic that's gone through a dramatic transformation. Cannabis. It's evolved from this prohibited substance to like a legitimate therapeutic option, which is,
A huge shift.
yeah, a huge shift.
Yeah.
The science behind it is really fascinating. Cannabinoids interact with our body's endocannabinoid system, which plays a role in regulating things like pain, inflammation, anxiety. There's so much potential there for treating all sorts of conditions. And it's not just about getting high, right? It's important to understand the difference between THC and CBD. Those are the two main compounds in cannabis. And then there's this concept of cannabinolopathic medicine, which aims to harness the therapeutic benefits of cannabis without the psychoactive effects.
Right. It's an area ripe for research and development, especially with the legal landscape of cannabis changing so rapidly in many parts of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, so get ready for a shift in perspective as we explore indigenous spirituality. We're going to be focusing on the medicine wheel, which is more than just a symbol.
It's a whole philosophy of life.
It is, yeah.
The medicine wheel teaches us about balance, harmony, and interconnectedness, ideas that are so relevant today, especially as we're thinking about concepts like, self-determination, truth, and reconciliation, particularly for indigenous communities.
It makes you think about how we relate to each other and that land, even the future. It's a powerful lens to view the world through. Can you give some examples of how these teachings are being applied today?
Absolutely. Indigenous communities are using the medicine wheel principles to guide, sustainable development projects, revitalize traditional knowledge systems, create community-based healing initiatives. It's all about finding balance and harmony in all aspects of life.
That's inspiring to hear. Okay, final stretch. Let's unlock the power within by exploring mind science and its role in achieving, both personal and professional success. We're talking about like the law of attraction, multiple intelligences.
Developing that success mindset.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about recognizing that our thoughts and choices have the power to shape our reality, which is pretty profound, especially when applied to leadership.
Oh, I love that. Inspired versus expired. What are the key differences between those leadership styles?
Well, inspired leaders, they embody the principles of mind science. They have a clear vision, they inspire and motivate their teams, communicate effectively, lead by example. They understand that their thoughts and actions create a ripple effect, influence those around them.
They sound like the kind of leaders we all want to work with.
Absolutely.
What about expired leaders? What are their characteristics?
They often exhibit traits that stifle growth and creativity, right? They lack a clear vision, resist change, they struggle to inspire or motivate their teams. They may be stuck in old patterns of thinking and behavior, which can hold both individuals and organizations back.
It's almost like they're kind of energy vampires, draining the enthusiasm and the motivation from their teams.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Their leadership style can create a really stagnant and uninspiring environment,
Yeah.
which hinders both individual and organizational success.
That's a great distinction, I think.
Yeah.
This contrast between inspired and expired leadership really highlights how impactful mind science can be, right?
Absolutely.
It makes you realize that we all have the power to choose how we lead, how we show up in the world.
We do.
Right.
It all starts with that self-awareness.
Yeah.
Understanding our own strengths and weaknesses and being willing to continuously learn and grow is key.
Makes sense. You can't lead others effectively if you don't have a solid understanding of yourself.
Nope.
Okay.
And developing that emotional intelligence is also crucial. That ability to recognize, understand, and manage not only our own emotions, but also the emotions of others.
Emotional intelligence seems to be a recurring theme in our deep dive today.
Yeah.
It's clearly a vital skill for navigating complex systems and relationships.
It really is.
Yeah.
It plays a significant role in effective leadership, communication, building strong relationships. It's crucial.
As we're exploring all these complex systems and ideas, it strikes me that there's one fundamental element that often gets overlooked. Safety and security.
Yeah, that's a great point.
It's so fundamental.
Safety and security are basic human needs, right? They provide that sense of stability, predictability, and protection, all of which are essential for us to thrive, both individually and as a society.
Exactly. And in a world that's constantly changing, and facing new challenges, it seems more important than ever to prioritize those safety and security measures.
Absolutely. Whether it's protecting ourselves from physical harm, safeguarding our financial assets, or ensuring the stability of our communities and institutions, safety and security are paramount.
So where do we even begin? What are some areas where safety and security are particularly crucial?
Well, one area that immediately comes to mind is financial security.
Yeah.
It's about protecting ourselves from financial risks and making sure that we're setting ourselves up for long-term financial well-being.
Yeah, that's a big one, especially with all the economic uncertainty in the world today.
It really is, and it's something that everyone needs to be thinking about, regardless of their income level or financial background.
So what are some key steps we can take to strengthen our financial security?
Well, building a strong financial foundation is essential. This means, creating a budget, managing debt wisely, saving for emergencies, and planning for the future. Those are all crucial elements.
Those are all great points, but they can be tough to put into practice, especially for people who are struggling to make ends meet.
True, but there are resources out there to help,
Yeah.
Things like financial literacy programs, budgeting apps, and even financial advisors can provide guidance and support.
It's good to know there's help available. Now, what about personal safety? How can we protect ourselves from physical harm and ensure our well-being, in our daily lives?
Yeah, personal safety is something we often take for granted until something happens that makes us realize just how vulnerable we can be, right? Being aware of our surroundings, trusting our instincts, and taking those common sense precautions can make a big difference.
Those are all good reminders. What about safety in our homes and communities? What steps can we take there?
Well, things like home security systems, neighborhood watch programs,
Yes.
strong community policing initiatives all contribute to a safer living environment.
Those are great practical measures, but I think it's also important to address, the root causes of crime and violence.
Oh, absolutely.
Issues like poverty, inequality, lack of opportunity.
You're absolutely right. Addressing these systemic issues is essential if we want to create a truly safe and secure society. It's not just about those reactive measures. It's about building a foundation where everyone feels safe and supported.
Yeah, it's clear that safety and security are multifaceted and require a very holistic approach.
Exactly.
It's not just one thing. It's this whole web of interconnected factors.
Yeah, and they're closely linked to all the other areas we've been discussing today, like economics, healthcare, education.
It's all coming together.
Right. We've seen how economic stability can contribute to peace, reduce conflict, while access to quality healthcare and education can empower individuals and communities.
Right.
And those factors, in turn, can create a safer and more secure environment for everyone. like a positive feedback loop.
I love that. A positive feedback loop of well-being.
Right.
Okay, let's shift gears and dive into the world of alternative investments. We talk about stocks and bonds, but there's this whole universe of options beyond those, those traditional assets.
There is.
Right.
That's right.
Alternative investments offer investors ways to diversify their portfolios, beyond the usual suspects.
We can open up unique opportunities for growth and help manage risk in different ways, I think.
Exactly.
And they've become increasingly popular in recent years as investors look for ways to hedge against that market volatility and explore new avenues for potential returns.
So, what are some of the most popular types of alternative investments out there?
Well, one category that's been making a lot of headlines lately is cryptocurrencies.
Oh, yeah.
Those digital or virtual currencies that use cryptography for security.
Cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and Ethereum have been on a roller coaster ride, right?
Yeah, they have.
With those dramatic price swings grabbing everyone's attention.
They certainly have. And while they do offer the potential for high returns, they also come with significant risks, due to their volatility and the fact that the crypto market is still largely unregulated.
It's definitely a high risk, high reward scenario.
Definitely.
Okay. What are some other alternative investments that people are exploring these days?
Another intriguing area is non-fungible tokens, or NFTs. Basically, unique digital assets that represent ownership of a specific item or piece of content.
NFTs have taken the art world by storm, right? With digital artwork selling for millions of dollars.
They have, and they're not limited to just art. NFTs can represent anything from, music and videos to virtual real estate and collectibles.
Wow, it seems like the possibilities are endless.
They are, and that's part of the appeal of NFTs, right?
Yeah.
They offer a new way to own and trade digital assets, sparking a lot of innovation and excitement in the process.
But they're still pretty new, so their long-term value is pretty uncertain.
That's right.
Right.
It's important for investors to approach NFTs with caution and do their due diligence before jumping in.
Okay, good advice. What other types of alternative investments are out there?
Well, let's talk about rare assets.
Okay.
These can include anything from, rare coins and stamps to vintage cars and fine wines, things that people collect and that often appreciate in value over time.
I can see the appeal of that. It's like owning a piece of history.
Exactly. Rare assets have long been a favorite for collectors and investors because they often hold their value well, even during times of inflation or economic uncertainty.
And they can also offer a hedge against inflation, which is a big concern for a lot of investors right now.
Absolutely. And their scarcity, their uniqueness, make them desirable assets for those looking to diversify their portfolios.
But rare assets probably come with their own set of challenges, right?
They do.
Like, what are we talking about?
Things like storage, authentication, and liquidity can be tricky.
Oh, okay.
It's important for investors to understand the nuances of the rare asset market before making any significant investments.
Makes sense. Okay, what about precious metals? Are those considered alternative investments?
Absolutely. Gold, silver, platinum, they've been considered safe haven assets for centuries.
That's because they tend to hold their value well during times of economic or political turmoil, right?
Exactly. They're often seen as a hedge against inflation and a way to preserve wealth during uncertain times. They offer that sense of security and stability when things feel shaky.
Yeah, but even precious metal prices can fluctuate, right?
Of course, their value can be influenced by various factors.
Right.
So, investors need to stay informed about market trends and economic conditions before making any decisions.
Okay, this has been a fascinating look at alternative investments. It's clear that there's a wide range of options available for those who want to explore, beyond those traditional assets.
And it's essential for investors to carefully consider their risk tolerance, financial goals, and investment horizon before venturing into any alternative investment.
Yeah.
It's not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Great advice. Now let's pivot to a topic that's both intriguing and crucial: the intersection of finance and ethics.
Ethics play a vital role in every aspect of finance, from the decisions individuals make about their investments to how global financial institutions operate.
Right. It's about ensuring that financial activities are conducted with integrity.
Transparency.
Fairness,
yeah.
Right.
And in a world where financial markets are so complex and interconnected, ethical considerations are more important than ever.
So what are some of the key ethical challenges facing the financial industry today?
Well, one issue that's received a lot of attention is insider trading,
Oh, yeah.
which is basically buying or selling securities based on material non-public information.
So it's about having access to information that the general public doesn't have and using that to your advantage.
Exactly. And insider trading undermines the fairness and integrity of financial markets.
Right.
It erodes investor confidence because it creates an uneven playing field.
It raises questions about fairness.
Right.
Whether everyone's playing by the same rules.
Absolutely. Another ethical concern is corporate espionage, which involves stealing trade secrets and confidential information for commercial gain.
So it's like economic sabotage, trying to get ahead by stealing someone else's intellectual property.
It can have devastating consequences for businesses. Think about the loss of intellectual property, competitive advantage, financial resources. It can damage reputations and disrupt entire industries.
That's why companies need to be really vigilant about protecting themselves from this kind of activity, right?
Absolutely. And then there's market manipulation,
Okay.
which has been a big issue in recent years. It involves artificially inflating or deflating the price of a security for personal gain.
So it's like trying to rig the system for your own profit.
Exactly. Market manipulation can take various forms, like spreading false rumors, pumping and dumping stocks, engaging in illegal trading practices. All of these actions distort market prices, harm investors, and undermine trust in financial systems.
So it's like shaking people's faith in the entire system.
It is, and it can have ripple effects throughout the economy. Another ethical challenge we need to consider is the issue of conflicts of interest. These arise when an individual or organization has competing interests that could potentially influence their decisions.
So it's like being on both sides of a deal, which could compromise your judgment.
Exactly. Conflicts of interest can pop up in, various financial contexts like investment banking, financial advising, asset management.
It's a situation that can lead to, biased recommendations, unfair practices, and a breach of trust.
Absolutely.
Transparency is crucial in those situations, right?
Of course.
People need to know if there are any potential biases at play.
Absolutely. Transparency involves providing clear, accurate, and timely information about financial transactions and decisions. It's crucial for building trust and accountability.
Right. It allows investors and stakeholders to make informed decisions and hold financial institutions responsible for their actions.
Exactly. Transparency is essential for maintaining the integrity and stability of financial markets. Without it, the system loses credibility.
Yeah, this discussion has really highlighted some of the complex ethical challenges facing the financial industry. It's clear that ethics is not just a side issue. It's fundamental to responsible and sustainable finance.
Absolutely.
Right.
Couldn't agree more. Now, let's take a closer look at a specific area of finance where ethical considerations are particularly important. Investment management.
Okay.
This involves managing financial assets on behalf of clients.
So it's about making investment decisions for other people,
Right.
which comes with a lot of responsibility.
It does. Investment managers have what's called a fiduciary duty to act in the best interests of their clients.
So that means putting their clients' needs ahead of their own.
Exactly. It involves making investment decisions that are prudent, diversified, and aligned with their clients' risk tolerance and financial goals.
There's a lot of trust involved in that relationship.
There is.
Right.
Ethical investment management also emphasizes transparency, disclosure, and avoiding those conflicts of interest.
Right.
It's about building those long-term relationships with clients based on trust and mutual respect.
Now, what about corporate finance? What are the ethical considerations in that area?
Well, corporate finance focuses on managing the financial activities of corporations. Ethically, this means making decisions that benefit the company and all of its stakeholders.
So we're talking about like shareholders, employees, customers, suppliers, even the wider community.
The wider community, exactly. Ethical corporate finance involves considering the long-term sustainability of the business and its impact on the environment and society.
So it's about taking a broader view, not just focusing on short-term profits.
Right. Ethical corporate finance also involves transparency in financial reporting, complying with regulations, and avoiding practices that could harm stakeholders. It's about building a reputation for integrity and responsibility.
Yeah, it sounds like ethics plays a role in virtually every aspect of finance.
It does. It highlights the importance of considering the broader impact of financial decisions and moving towards a more ethical and sustainable approach to finance that benefits both individuals and society as a whole. It's about aligning profit with purpose.
Oh, I love that, aligning profit with purpose. Okay, let's shift gears and delve into the world of international trade, another, massive part of the global economy.
International trade is fascinating because it involves the exchange of goods and services across national borders. It's played a pivotal role in shaping the modern world.
It's driven economic growth, fueled innovation, even facilitated cultural exchange, right?
Absolutely. It's created this complex web of interconnectedness among nations.
Hmm.
But it also comes with challenges.
Oh, yeah. Like, what are some of the challenges that come with international trade?
Real things like trade imbalances, protectionist policies,
Mhm.
and concerns about labor standards and environmental sustainability. Those are all things that we need to grapple with.
Yeah, those are huge issues.
They are.
How do we ensure that international trade is fair, equitable, and benefits everyone involved?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, right? It requires ongoing dialogue, collaboration, and a willingness to address these challenges head on.
Okay, so what are some of the key concepts and dynamics at play in international trade?
Well, one fundamental concept is comparative advantage. It suggests that countries should specialize in producing goods and services that they can produce more efficiently than other countries.
So it's like focusing on what you're good at and trading with others who excel in different areas?
Exactly. And this specialization allows countries to trade with each other and benefit from the exchange.
Okay.
It leads to increased productivity, lower prices, and a wider variety of goods and services available to consumers.
So it's about leveraging each country's strengths to create a more efficient, interconnected global economy. What about free trade? Where does that fit in?
Well, free trade advocates for the removal of barriers to trade, things like tariffs, quotas, and subsidies. The idea is to make it easier for goods and services to flow freely across borders.
So the argument is that free trade promotes economic growth,
Competition.
competition, and consumer choice. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
However, critics of free trade argue that it can lead to job losses in domestic industries, exploitation of workers in developing countries, and environmental damage.
Those are valid concerns.
They are.
It sounds like finding the right balance is crucial.
Absolutely. We need trade agreements that balance economic benefits with social and environmental considerations. It's about creating a system that works for everyone, not just a select few.
Makes a lot of sense. What about the institutions that kind of govern international trade? Who's setting the rules of the game?
Well, the World Trade Organization, or the WTO, is a key player. It's an intergovernmental organization that regulates international trade and promotes free trade.
So they kind of act as a referee.
Exactly,
All right.
making sure everyone's playing by the rules.
Okay.
The WTO provides a forum for member countries to negotiate trade agreements, settle trade disputes, and establish rules for international commerce. They play a crucial role in facilitating global trade and ensuring a level playing field for all participants.
What about financial assistance for countries that are facing economic difficulties? Is there an institution that helps with that?
Yeah, there's the International Monetary Fund, or the IMF. They provide financial assistance to countries facing those economic challenges,
Yeah.
and they work to promote global financial stability and economic growth.
So they're like a safety net for the global economy.
In a way, yes.
Okay.
They also play a role in managing those international currency exchange rates.
Okay, it sounds like these institutions, along with, regional and bilateral trade agreements, really shape the landscape of international trade.
They do. They provide those frameworks for cooperation, regulation, and dispute resolution. They play a crucial role in promoting economic interdependence and, global prosperity.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about all these moving parts kind of working together to facilitate international trade.
It is. It really highlights how complex and interconnected the global economy is.
Right.
And it emphasizes the importance of finding ways to work together effectively.
Absolutely. Now let's zoom in on a specific aspect of international trade that's become increasingly important, the global supply chain.
Oh, yeah. The global supply chain refers to the network of businesses, organizations, and transportation systems involved in the production, distribution, and sale of goods and services.
It's like a massive, intricate web that connects all the different parts of the production process.
Exactly. It encompasses everything from sourcing raw materials to delivering finished products to consumers, and has become increasingly globalized, with companies sourcing materials and labor from all over the world.
I can see how globalization would lead to increased efficiency.
Lower costs.
Lower costs.
Wider variety of goods available to consumers.
Right, right. But it probably also creates, new challenges.
Of course it does.
What are we talking about?
Things like supply chain disruptions, labor exploitation, and environmental concerns are all issues we need to consider very carefully.
So What are some of the kind of key trends and challenges facing the global supply chain today?
Well, one trend is the increasing use of technology to optimize supply chain operations. Things like artificial intelligence, automation, and blockchain are being used to improve efficiency, transparency, and security.
So it sounds like technology is playing a major role in kind of streamlining the supply chain.
Absolutely. But it also raises concerns about job displacement and the ethical implications of using AI in decision-making processes.
Yeah, those are important considerations. What other challenges are companies facing in managing these supply chains?
Another challenge is the growing complexity of supply chains.
Okay.
And this complexity can make them more vulnerable to disruptions, things like natural disasters, political instability, and, as we've all experienced recently, pandemics.
Right, right.
Right.
We've all seen how those disruptions can lead to shortages and delays and price increases.
Exactly. These disruptions highlight the need for greater resilience and adaptability in supply chain management.
So companies need to be prepared for the unexpected,
Yes.
have backup plans in place.
That's right. They need to be able to adjust quickly and find alternative solutions when disruptions occur.
What about sustainability? Is that a consideration in supply chain management these days?
Absolutely. Sustainability is becoming increasingly important as companies realize they need to be environmentally and socially responsible. This includes reducing carbon emissions, minimizing waste, and ensuring fair labor practices.
So it's not just about getting products from point A to point B. It's about doing it in a way that's ethical and sustainable.
Exactly. Sustainable supply chain management is essential for building a more equitable and sustainable global economy.
Right.
And it's something that consumers are increasingly demanding.
It makes sense. It sounds like the global supply chain is facing a lot of complex challenges.
It is, but it also presents opportunities for innovation and collaboration. By working together, businesses, governments, and consumers can create a more resilient, sustainable, and responsible global supply chain that benefits everyone.
This exploration of the global supply chain really emphasizes how interconnected everything is in the global economy
It is.
and how important it is to consider the ethical and sustainable implications of our actions.
Couldn't agree more. Now let's shift our focus to another fascinating topic: the impact of technology on the future of work.
Oh, technology is changing everything so rapidly,
It is.
right? Like how is it shaping the workplace of the future?
Well, technology is transforming the workplace in profound ways.
Yeah.
It's automating tasks, creating new jobs, and changing the skills that are in demand.
Yeah, it's both exciting and a little bit daunting, I think, to think about how work is evolving.
It is. It's creating both opportunities and challenges for workers and businesses.
So, what are some of the key ways that technology is changing the future of work?
Well, one major trend is automation, which involves using machines and software to perform tasks that were previously done by humans.
I can see how automation can increase efficiency and productivity, accuracy, yeah. But it also raises those concerns about job displacement, right?
Of course.
As machines become capable of doing more, what happens to the human workers?
That's the big question.
Yeah.
It's something that we need to address proactively. We need to find ways to retrain and upskill workers so they can thrive in a more automated world.
Right. What about artificial intelligence? How is AI impacting the workplace?
Well, AI is everywhere.
It is.
Right.
Yeah.
It's being used in a wide range of industries, from healthcare and finance to manufacturing and transportation. AI has the potential to revolutionize many aspects of work, creating new opportunities, but also new challenges.
It's hard to keep up with all the advancements in AI.
I know.
It seems like there's something new every day.
It's moving incredibly fast, and it's changing the skills that are needed in the workforce.
So what kind of skills are becoming more valuable in this, AI-driven world?
Jobs that require creativity, critical thinking, problem solving, and emotional intelligence.
Okay.
Those are becoming more valuable. These are the skills that are harder to automate.
So it's not just about technical skills anymore. It's about that human element.
Exactly. While jobs that involve repetitive tasks or can be easily automated are at risk of being displaced, those that require that human ingenuity and those interpersonal skills, those are in high demand.
So this shift in demand for skills is putting pressure on workers to adapt and, acquire new skills throughout their careers.
Absolutely.
Right.
Lifelong learning and upskilling are becoming essential for staying relevant in that evolving job market.
So it seems like education needs to kind of keep pace with these rapid technological advancements.
It does. Educational institutions and businesses need to work together to ensure that workers are equipped with the skills they need to succeed in this new world of work.
It's a collaborative effort to prepare the workforce for the future.
It is.
This exploration of the impact of technology on the future of work highlights the importance of adaptability.
Innovation.
Innovation, yeah,
And a focus on developing those uniquely human skills.
makes sense. It underscores the importance of preparing for a future where technology and human ingenuity will continue to shape the workplace in, fascinating and unpredictable ways.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's talk about the role of government in the economy.
Okay.
It's a topic that often sparks debate,
Oh, yeah.
Strong opinions.
Strong opinions, for sure.
Right.
Governments play a significant role in shaping economic activity, through their policies, regulations, and public spending.
The level of government involvement in the economy varies across countries and, political ideologies.
It does, but regardless of the specific approach, governments have a responsibility to promote economic stability, growth, and fairness.
So what are some of the key ways that governments influence the economy?
Well, one important tool is fiscal policy, which involves government spending and taxation. Governments can use fiscal policy to stimulate economic growth, reduce unemployment, and control inflation.
So it's about managing the flow of money within the economy.
Exactly. They can also use fiscal policy to fund public services, such as healthcare, education, and infrastructure.
Those are essential services that benefit everyone in society.
Absolutely.
What about monetary policy? How does that work?
Well, monetary policy involves controlling the money supply and interest rates.
Okay.
Central banks, like the Federal Reserve in the United States, are responsible for implementing monetary policy.
So they have a lot of power to influence the economy.
They do. They use tools like setting interest rates, buying and selling government bonds, and adjusting reserve requirements to try to keep the economy on track.
It sounds like a delicate balancing act.
It is. Monetary policy can be used to stimulate economic growth, control inflation, and manage exchange rates. Getting it right is crucial for a healthy economy.
Okay, what about regulations? What role do they play in the economy?
Well, regulations are another important tool. They involve setting rules and standards for businesses and industries.
So it's about creating a level playing field, protecting consumers, workers,
The environment.
and the environment, right?
Exactly. Regulations can also promote competition, innovation, and fair market practices.
But there's also the argument that too much regulation can stifle economic growth and create unnecessary burdens for businesses.
That's true. Finding the right balance between regulation and economic freedom is a constant challenge for governments. It's about finding that sweet spot where businesses can thrive while still protecting the interests of society.
It sounds like a complex equation with a lot of variables.
It is. Governments also play a vital role in providing public goods and services, things like education, healthcare, infrastructure, national defense. These are all essential for a well-functioning society and economy, and they're often not provided efficiently by the private sector.
They're the things that we often take for granted, but rely on every day.
Exactly. Governments also play a role in redistributing income through social welfare programs, things like unemployment insurance, food stamps, and housing assistance. These programs aim to provide a safety net for those in need and reduce poverty and inequality.
They're designed to help those who are struggling and create a more equitable society.
Exactly. These programs are a crucial part of a just and equitable society. This exploration of the role of government in the economy highlights the complex and multifaceted nature of this relationship.
Yeah, it really does. It's about finding that balance between government intervention and market forces.
It is. Governments have a responsibility to promote economic stability, growth, and fairness, while also ensuring that individuals and businesses have the freedom to innovate and prosper. It's a delicate dance.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about a topic that affects, really affects everyone: crime and security.
Yeah, crime and security are issues that impact all of us, regardless of where we live or what we do. They influence our sense of safety, well-being, and economic prosperity.
And in today's interconnected world, crime and security challenges often cross national borders. Right. So let's explore some of the key trends and issues facing law enforcement and security agencies today.
Sure.
What are some of the biggest challenges they're grappling with?
Well, one major trend is the rise of cybercrime,
Okay.
which involves using computers and the internet to commit illegal activities.
It's a whole new frontier of criminal activity.
It is.
with the internet providing new opportunities for criminals.
Exactly. Cybercrime includes a wide range of offenses like hacking, identity theft, fraud, even cyber terrorism.
It's a growing threat that poses, significant challenges for individuals, businesses, and governments alike.
Absolutely. And it's constantly evolving as technology advances. Another trend we're seeing is the increasing sophistication of criminal organizations.
Okay.
They're using advanced technologies and global networks to facilitate their activities. It's like they're running multinational corporations, but their business is crime.
It's a chilling thought, but it's the reality we're facing.
It is. These organizations are involved in a wide range of criminal enterprises, such as drug trafficking, human trafficking, arms smuggling, and money laundering. They pose a significant threat to national security and global stability.
Yeah. What about terrorism? Is that still a major concern?
Unfortunately, yes. Terrorism, which involves using violence and intimidation to achieve political goals, remains a serious threat. And terrorist organizations are increasingly using the internet and social media to recruit members, spread propaganda, and plan attacks.
It's a scary thought that they're using the same tools we use for communication and connection to spread fear and violence.
It is. These challenges are complex and multifaceted, and they require innovative approaches and collaboration among law enforcement and security agencies worldwide.
Yeah, it sounds like we need a global effort to tackle these global threats.
Absolutely. These challenges highlight the importance of investing in technology, training, and intelligence gathering. We need to stay ahead of the curve if we want to effectively combat these threats.
Now let's talk about the justice system. What role does it play in addressing crime and security?
Well, the justice system is responsible for investigating crimes, prosecuting offenders, and sentencing those who are found guilty. It's a crucial part of maintaining law and order and ensuring that justice is served.
Right. It's about holding people accountable for their actions and making sure that victims have a voice.
Exactly. But the justice system is not perfect. Issues such as racial bias, overcrowding in prisons, and the high cost of incarceration, those are all challenges that need to be addressed.
Yeah, these are serious issues that can undermine the fairness and effectiveness of the justice system.
They are. Reforming the justice system to make it more fair, equitable, and effective is an ongoing process. It requires a commitment to addressing those systemic issues and finding ways to create a more just and compassionate system.
Yeah, this exploration of crime and security really highlights the complex and evolving nature of these challenges, and it's clear that there are no easy answers. It really underscores the importance of collaboration, innovation, and a commitment to justice and fairness in tackling these issues.
It does.
Now, let's shift our focus to the future of the global economy. It's a topic full of uncertainty, but also ripe with possibility.
The global economy is constantly evolving, shaped by forces like technology, demographics, and geopolitics.
Right, predicting the future is always a challenge, but can we identify any key trends or drivers that are likely to shape the economic landscape in the years to come?
Absolutely. One major trend is the rise of emerging markets, such as China, India, and Brazil. These economies are growing rapidly and playing an increasingly important role in the global economy.
So it's like the balance of power is shifting, with these emerging markets challenging the kind of traditional economic powerhouses.
In a way, yes.
Right.
They're becoming major consumers, investors, and innovators. Their growth is creating both opportunities and challenges for businesses and governments worldwide.
Yeah, it's a whole new landscape to navigate. What other trends are shaping the global economy these days?
Well, technology continues to be a major driving force, right? The increasing pace of technological innovation is fueling economic growth and disruption.
It's like we're in a constant state of technological revolution.
It's true. Technologies such as artificial intelligence, automation, and biotechnology are transforming industries and creating new opportunities.
Yeah, but those technologies also raise concerns about, job displacement and the ethical implications of their use.
Absolutely. We need to find ways to harness the power of these technologies for good while mitigating their potential negative impacts.
Okay, what about sustainability? Is that becoming a bigger factor in the global economy?
Oh, absolutely. As businesses and consumers become more aware of the environmental and social impact of economic activity, there's a growing demand for products and services that are ethically and sustainably sourced.
It's like people are voting with their wallets, choosing companies that align with their values.
Exactly. And companies are increasingly focusing on reducing their environmental footprint, improving their social responsibility. It's no longer just about profit, it's about purpose and sustainability.
Yeah, and this trend towards sustainability is like creating really exciting opportunities for innovation and growth in areas such as renewable energy, sustainable agriculture, and the circular economy.
Absolutely. It's driving a shift towards a more responsible and sustainable economic model.
Okay. What about inequality? Is that a factor shaping the future of the global economy?
Unfortunately, yes.
Uh,
The gap between the rich and the poor is widening in many parts of the world, and this inequality is creating social unrest, political instability, and economic challenges.
yeah, it's a problem that can't be ignored.
Absolutely. Addressing
Yeah.
inequality is essential for creating a more just, stable, and sustainable global economy. We need to find ways to create a system that works for everyone, not just a privileged few.
Yeah, it sounds like the future of the global economy hinges on our ability to address these kind of complex and interconnected challenges, right?
It does. These trends and challenges require innovative solutions and collaboration among governments, businesses, and individuals.
So, like, what are some of the key qualities we need to cultivate to navigate this complex, ever-changing economic landscape?
Well, adaptability, innovation, and a commitment to sustainability and social responsibility, those are all essential for building a more resilient and equitable global economy.
It's not just about economic growth. It's about creating a system that works for everyone and protects the planet for future generations.
Couldn't agree more. It's about shifting our focus from short-term profits to long-term prosperity and well-being for all.
This exploration of the future of the global economy, I think, emphasizes the need for a really holistic approach
Yes?
that considers the interconnectedness of economic, social, and environmental factors.
Absolutely, it does.
Yeah.
And it underscores the importance of creating a more just, equitable, and sustainable global economy that benefits all members of society.
Okay, so let's shift our focus to something that's both deeply personal and universal, the pursuit of happiness and well-being. Right. Happiness and well-being are like fundamental human aspirations,
They are.
essential for a fulfilling and meaningful life. And they're increasingly being recognized as important indicators of societal progress.
Absolutely.
So, what are some of the key factors that contribute to happiness and well-being?
Well, one important factor is social connection,
Okay.
which involves having strong relationships with family, friends, community. These relationships provide us with a sense of belonging, support, and love.
Yeah, they remind us that we're not alone,
Right.
that we have people we can rely on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Social connection is essential for our mental and emotional health.
What about finding purpose and meaning in life? How does that contribute to happiness and well-being?
Well, having a sense of purpose and meaning in life is crucial.
Okay.
It involves, having a sense of direction, feeling like our actions have value, and knowing that we're making a difference in the world.
It's about feeling like our lives have significance,
Yeah,
that we're contributing to something larger than ourselves.
absolutely.
Right.
Purpose and meaning can come from, various sources, our work, our families, community involvement, our spiritual beliefs.
So it's not about finding one right answer. It's about finding what resonates with us personally.
Exactly. It's about discovering what gives our lives meaning
Okay.
and pursuing those passions.
Okay. What about our physical health? How does that tie into happiness and well-being?
Well, taking care of our physical health is crucial for our overall well-being, right?
Mm,
It's about nourishing our bodies with healthy food, getting enough sleep, moving our bodies regularly. Physical health is closely linked to our mental and emotional health. It can have a profound impact on our overall happiness.
Yeah, it's all connected, isn't it? You can't really separate physical health from like mental and emotional well-being.
Exactly. They all influence each other.
Right.
What about financial security? How does that factor in?
I mean, it's hard to feel happy and secure when you're constantly stressed about money, right?
That's true. Financial security. Having enough money to meet our basic needs and feel a sense of stability that reduces stress and anxiety allows us to focus on other aspects of our lives. It's not about being rich, it's about having enough to feel comfortable and secure.
Yeah, peace of mind when it comes to finances.
Exactly. And finally, let's not forget about personal growth and development.
Okay.
This involves learning new skills, expanding our knowledge, pursuing our interests. It's about challenging ourselves and continuously striving to become the best versions of ourselves.
Yeah, personal growth, it keeps us engaged and excited about life.
It does.
It's about expanding our horizons.
Exploring new possibilities.
Yeah, exactly.
Personal growth and development gives us a sense of accomplishment and helps us, stay fulfilled throughout our lives.
I think all of these factors, the social connection, the purpose, physical health, financial security, personal growth, they all seem to work together to create a sense of overall happiness and well-being.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
And it's important to remember that happiness and well-being, they're not destinations, right? They're ongoing processes that require effort and attention. It's not about reaching a certain point and then coasting. It's about continuously making choices that support our well-being and cultivating those positive habits.
Yeah, it's like tending a garden.
Exactly.
You have to nurture it consistently
Yeah.
if you want it to flourish.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
And just like a garden, sometimes we need help, you know? It's okay to seek support from others, therapists, counselors, friends, family, when we're struggling.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This exploration of happiness and well-being has been really insightful. It's a reminder that we all have the power to make choices that support our well-being, and create a more fulfilling life. Now let's shift gears and talk about an event that has had a really profound impact on, well, everyone. The COVID-19 pandemic.
Yeah, the COVID-19 pandemic has been a global crisis of unprecedented scale,
It has.
impacting virtually every aspect of our lives, from the economy to healthcare to our social interactions.
Yeah, it's been a challenging time for everyone.
Absolutely, it's caused widespread economic disruption, strained healthcare systems, led to social upheaval, and it's accelerated trends that were already underway, such as the rise of remote work, e-commerce, and the reliance on digital technologies.
It feels like the world has been fundamentally changed by the pandemic.
In many ways, it has.
Right.
Yeah, let's explore some of the key ways the pandemic has impacted the global economy and society.
Okay, where do we even begin? The impact has been so widespread.
Well, let's start with the economy. The global economy experienced a sharp contraction, due to those lockdowns, travel restrictions, and supply chain disruptions.
Yeah, it's like hitting the pause button on the entire world.
In many ways, it was.
Yeah.
Businesses were forced to close, millions of people lost their jobs, and global trade declined.
Yeah, a devastating blow to many businesses and individuals.
Absolutely. And the pandemic also exacerbated existing inequalities. The poorest and most vulnerable populations have been disproportionately affected.
It's often those who are already struggling
Right.
who are hit the hardest during times of crisis.
That's unfortunately true. The pandemic has also put immense pressure on public health systems worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
They've been overwhelmed by the surge in COVID-19 cases, leading to shortages of beds, medical supplies, and healthcare workers.
It's been a heroic effort by healthcare workers to manage this crisis.
It absolutely has.
Yeah.
The pandemic has exposed both the strengths and weaknesses in healthcare systems around the world, and we've learned valuable lessons about the importance of preparedness and resilience.
Okay. And the education system also significantly disrupted.
It has. With schools and universities forced to close, shift to online learning, there have been major challenges for students, teachers, and parents. It's raised concerns about learning loss, the digital divide, and the social and emotional impact of isolation on students.
Yeah, it's been a difficult transition for everyone involved in education.
It has. The pandemic has also had a profound impact on our social interactions, forcing people to isolate themselves from family and friends to prevent the spread of the virus.
Yeah, it's been a lonely time for a lot of people.
It has. This isolation has led to increased loneliness, anxiety, and depression for some. It's highlighted the importance of social connection for our mental and emotional well-being.
Yeah, it's a reminder that we're social creatures and we need those connections to thrive.
Absolutely. The COVID-19 pandemic has been a global crisis unlike anything we've seen in recent history. It's challenged our healthcare systems, our economies, our social structures,
Right.
but it's also forced us to adapt, innovate, and find new ways to connect and support each other.
Yeah, we've been pushed to our limits, but we've also seen incredible resilience and ingenuity.
That's right. The pandemic has really highlighted the interconnectedness of our world, showing how challenges in one part of the world can quickly spread and affect us all. It's underscored the need for global cooperation and solidarity if we want to address these kinds of challenges effectively.
The pandemic has been like a defining moment in human history.
Yes.
Right. It's a time of huge challenge, but also a time of opportunity.
I agree. By learning from this experience, we can build a more resilient, equitable, and sustainable world, one that's better prepared for future challenges and more focused on the well-being of all people.
I love that. Okay, let's turn our attention to a topic that's both deeply personal and universal. The search for meaning and purpose in life.
That's a big one.
Yeah, it is a big one.
The search for meaning and purpose is something we all grapple with at some point in our lives, right?
Yeah.
It's what drives us to ask those big questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What is my life all about?
Those are the questions that keep us up at night.
They are.
Yeah.
And the answers to these questions are deeply personal.
Yeah.
They can vary greatly from person to person.
Yeah.
There's no one right answer.
So it's not about finding some like universal truth. It's about finding what resonates with us as individuals.
Exactly. The search itself is what gives our lives direction and significance. It's about exploring, questioning, and continuously evolving our understanding of ourselves and the world around us.
Okay, so where do we even begin? What are some of the different paths people take to find meaning and purpose?
Well, one common source of meaning and purpose is through our relationships with others, our family, friends, romantic partners, our community.
Yeah, our connections with others, I think, make life richer, more meaningful.
They do. These relationships provide us with love, support, a sense of belonging, and they help us feel connected to something larger than ourselves.
They give us a sense of purpose.
They do.
Remind us we're part of something bigger.
Absolutely.
What about our work? Can that be a source of meaning and purpose?
Absolutely. Our work can be a source of great meaning and purpose. It can provide us with a sense of accomplishment, allow us to contribute to society, and provide, financial security. Work can be especially meaningful when it aligns with our values and passions.
Yeah, it's about feeling like our work is making a difference in the world, right?
Absolutely.
What about creativity? Can that be a path to meaning and purpose?
Creativity can be incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
Whether it's through art, music, writing, or any other form of creative expression, creativity allows us to tap into our imagination, explore our emotions, and connect with others on a deeper level.
It's a way to express ourselves and connect with the world around us.
Exactly. Creativity can be a source of healing, growth, and fulfillment. It can give us a sense of purpose and help us make sense of the world.
What about, spirituality? How does that factor into the search for meaning and purpose?
Well, spirituality involves connecting with something larger than ourselves, whether it's through religion, meditation, or simply a sense of awe and wonder at the natural world. It can provide a sense of purpose, guidance, and comfort.
Yeah, for many people, their spiritual beliefs are a source of strength and guidance in their lives.
Absolutely. Spirituality can help us find meaning in difficult times and connect with a sense of something greater than ourselves.
Okay, what about, service to others? Can that be a path to meaning and purpose?
Absolutely. Service to others involves using our time, skills, and resources to make a difference in the lives of others. It can be incredibly rewarding, and it can give us a sense of purpose and connection to our community.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected.
Yes.
And that we have a responsibility to support each other.
Absolutely. These are just a few examples of the many ways people find meaning and purpose in their lives. The key is to find what resonates with you personally and to pursue it with passion and intention.
It's about listening to your inner voice and following your heart.
Exactly. The search for meaning and purpose, it's a lifelong journey,
Right.
It's about exploring our values, discovering our passions, and making choices that align with our authentic selves.
It's about living a life that feels true and meaningful to us.
And it's about recognizing that meaning and purpose can be found in the everyday moments of our lives, as well as in those grand pursuits. It's about appreciating the little things, finding joy in the present moment.
Yeah, I love that. This exploration of meaning and purpose has been really inspiring. It's a reminder that we all have the power to create a life that feels, fulfilling and meaningful. Now, let's shift our focus to a concept that's both personal and political. Freedom.
Yeah.
Freedom is a complex and multifaceted concept, right?
Yeah.
It encompasses a wide range of rights and liberties, including, freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of assembly, and freedom from oppression and discrimination.
Absolutely.
Freedom is something we often take for granted, but it's essential for individual and societal flourishing.
Absolutely. Freedom allows us to express ourselves, pursue our dreams, and live authentic lives.
Yeah, without freedom, we can't truly be ourselves,
Right.
reach our full potential.
But freedom is not absolute.
Right.
It comes with responsibility.
Okay. So it's not about doing whatever we want, right?
Right.
It's about exercising our freedoms in a way that respects the rights and freedoms of others.
Exactly. We have a responsibility to use our freedom in ways that contribute to the common good and create a society where everyone can thrive.
It's about finding that balance between individual freedom and the needs of society, right?
It is.
Yeah.
But it's essential for creating a just, equitable, and sustainable world.
Okay, so let's kind of unpack the different dimensions of freedom. What are we talking about here? What are some of the key aspects?
Well, one important dimension is personal freedom.
Okay.
which involves the right to make choices about our own lives without undue interference from others. This includes freedom of thought, belief, expression, and action.
So it's about having the autonomy to make decisions about how we want to live our lives.
Exactly. What about political freedom? How would you define that?
I think political freedom is about having the right to participate in the political process, right? To have a say in how our society is governed.
Absolutely. Political freedom includes the right to vote, run for office, and express our political views without fear of reprisal.
It's about having a voice in shaping the future of our society.
It is.
Okay, what about economic freedom? How does that fit into the picture?
Well, economic freedom is about having the opportunity to pursue our economic goals, create a better life for ourselves and our families.
Yeah, economic freedom involves the right to own property, engage in business, and make economic choices without undue government interference.
Exactly. It's about having the freedom to pursue our dreams and create our own opportunities.
And finally, there's social freedom, which is like about having the right to live our lives free from discrimination and prejudice. This includes freedom from discrimination based on, race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or other personal characteristics.
Absolutely. Social freedom is about creating a society where everyone feels safe, respected, and valued, regardless of their differences.
Right. So these different dimensions of freedom, I mean, they're all interconnected. Right. And they reinforce each other. When one dimension of freedom is restricted, it can have like a ripple effect on other dimensions.
Absolutely.
It can.
So, if you restrict freedom of speech, it can make it more difficult to exercise political freedom or even economic freedom.
Exactly. It highlights the importance of protecting and promoting all dimensions of freedom if we want to create a truly free and flourishing society.
Yeah. This discussion of freedom has been really eye-opening. It's a reminder that freedom is not just a word. It's a complex and precious concept
It is.
that we need to protect and cherish. Now, let's talk about the importance of education, which is often seen as the foundation of a strong, thriving society, right?
Absolutely. Education empowers individuals with knowledge, skills, and critical thinking abilities. It allows us to understand the world around us, make informed decisions, and contribute to our communities.
Yeah, education is about more than just acquiring information. It's about developing our minds, expanding our horizons. It is. And education is also a key driver of economic growth and innovation. It prepares us for the workforce, equips us with the skills we need to succeed, helps us adapt to a rapidly changing world.
Yeah, I mean, in today's world where things are changing so quickly, like the ability to learn and adapt, it's more important than ever.
Absolutely. So, what are some of the key trends and challenges facing education today?
I mean, technology is having a huge impact on education.
Absolutely.
It's changing the way we learn.
The way we teach.
Yeah, providing access to information.
Connecting students and teachers.
Yeah, creating opportunities for like personalized learning.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time for education.
Yeah, but technology also raises challenges, right? Like, how do we bridge the digital divide, ensure that students have digital literacy skills,
Yeah.
and manage the potential for distraction and, misuse of technology?
Absolutely. It's about finding ways to use technology effectively and responsibly in the classroom.
Yeah, exactly. Another trend in education is the growing focus on skills development. As employers increasingly demand workers who have specific skills and knowledge,
Right.
there's this growing recognition that education systems need to go beyond those traditional academic subjects and focus on developing practical skills.
Yeah.
So it's not just about memorizing facts, it's about being able to apply knowledge and solve problems, in real-world situations.
Exactly. Skills like critical thinking, problem solving, collaboration, and communication, those are essential for success in today's workforce.
Okay. What about the cost of education? Is that a challenge?
Unfortunately, yes. The rising cost of college and university is making it increasingly difficult for students from low-income families to afford higher education, and it's creating a burden of student debt for many graduates.
Yeah, this is a serious issue that needs to be addressed if we want to ensure that everyone has equal access to education and opportunity.
I agree. Addressing the cost of education is essential for creating a more equitable society, a strong economy.
Okay. These trends and challenges, I think, highlight the need for, innovation and adaptation in education. We need to find ways to make education more accessible, affordable, and relevant to the needs of today's students and the workforce, right?
Absolutely. It's about preparing students not just for their first job, but for a lifetime of learning and adaptation.
This deep dive into education has been incredibly insightful. It's a reminder that investing in education is investing in our future. By providing quality education for all, we can empower individuals, strengthen communities, and build a more prosperous and equitable world.
Couldn't agree more. Education is the key to unlocking human potential and creating a better future for everyone.
Wow, we've covered so much ground today. From the many faces of freedom to the power of mind science, the global economy, the importance of education. This deep dive has been a whirlwind of information and insights.
It has been a fascinating journey.
It really has.
I'm always amazed by how interconnected everything is. What stood out to you the most?
I think the idea that our thoughts and choices can shape our reality, as mind science suggests, I mean, that's incredibly powerful.
Yeah.
It makes you realize that we all have the power to create positive change, both in our own lives and in the world around us.
That's a great takeaway. And it connects to so many of the other topics we've discussed today, like the importance of making ethical choices in finance, supporting sustainable practices, and advocating for a more just and equitable society.
Yeah, it's a reminder that our actions have ripple effects and that we can all contribute to creating a better future.
Absolutely. I hope this deep dive has sparked your curiosity and inspired you to keep exploring these topics.
I know I've learned a lot today, and I'm definitely going to be thinking about these ideas for a long time to come.
That's what it's all about. Keep learning, keep questioning, and keep striving to make a positive impact on the world.
And to all of you listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you've enjoyed the journey as much as we have. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those minds engaged.